A woman, a la Karen, enters my parents' restaurant claiming to be the owner's wife. At 18 years old, I am the son of the owners of a small establishment called Joe's, which offers snacks, cakes, sweets, and various fast foods named in honor of my grandparents. In my free time, I usually go out with friends to eat something, and I don't hesitate to pay, encouraging them to do the same. Working at Joe's, especially on busy weekends, I have the opportunity to serve or take orders from customers. My father allows me to keep the tips that customers generously offer in addition to receiving a salary for the hours I work. Some regular customers know I'm the owner's son, but many still consider them employees. One day, a customer entered the establishment assuming the role of the owner's wife. On a weekend, a woman I don't know, she might have been in her 30s or 40s, and came in with her naughty son, who I assume was about 13 or so now. As it was a weekend, it was a little busy. She was told to sit in one of the waiting chairs. About 20 minutes later, a table was ready for her. She sat there and I went to ask for her orders. Now I don't remember exactly what she ordered, but it could have been a sandwich or something, and I went into the kitchen to give her the order. Now I was standing by the register looking for someone if they needed anything, and her naughty son was running around screaming, bumping into people, stepping on people's feet, and even touching the food. The mother, as always, didn't seem to mind and was now on the phone. Now I was very irritated by this, and I held the child by his hand while he ran. I told him not to run in a very harsh voice, and the boy started to cry and ran back to his mother. His mother was furious because of this and came to me stomping, and that's how the conversation happened. The entitled mother said, "How dare you touch my son on me? He was running and annoying other people. I didn't you see he was touching their food?" Entitled mother, "Well, he is a child. He can do whatever he wants to do me good, yes, but not on my supervision." Entitled mother, "Do you even know who I am?" Me thinking, here we go again. I knew what was going to happen, so I thought I'd play with myself. "No ma'am, I don't have a mother's right." "Well, then you should know that. I'm the owner's wife, and you've committed a big mistake, and I will make sure your face is never seen here again because you are being fired." I thinking in my mind, I thought she would go after a sister or a friend, but she went after a wife, and now let's have fun. "Lady, I don't think you even know his." She interrupts me. The mother says his name is insert his name, my father here. I was kind of shocked that she knew very little of my father's name. People knew that anyway. "Ma'am, I'm sorry for having agitated with your son, but please don't get me fired. It's the only job which I have a right to." "Mom, oh, you should have thought of that before you touched my son." "But ma'am," he was angry. She cut me off again. "Shut up." She went to the register and I asked to speak to the manager. My father came out and talked to her about what happened. "Your employee is harassing my son. I want him fired now." My father looked at me and said, "I'm sorry for the inconvenience, but I can't just fire him for no reason." The overbearing mother said, "Do you at least know who you're talking to? I'm the wife of the owner of Joe's, and I can't stand the employee here." My father has the biggest smile on his face. "Why are you laughing? I'm serious." Father says, "I'm saying again, I'm sorry for the inconvenience caused. Would you like a refund?" The entitled mother went into full rage mode and said, "Do you know how I'm calling my husband and complaining about you and your employer? We will get back to you." Fired. Now the way she got my dad's phone number is because we had it on a board outside while we were doing home delivery, so people would order on duty and you get it dropped. So she called that phone number and my father's phone rang. "Karen." The entitled mother was shocked. He picked up the phone and said, "Hello, this is the owner of Joe's. How can I help you?" Karen's face turned red until it was completely white, as if the blood had been drained from her. He then said, "Yes, I am the owner and manager of Joe's, and you are in no way my wife, and the employee you want fired is my son." She looked at me and I just couldn't hold back my laughter anymore, and just then her order was ready and she dropped it, so she called that phone number and my dad's phone rang. "Karen." The entitled mother was shocked. He picked up the phone and said, "Hello, this is the owner of Joe's. How can I help you?" Karen's face turned red until it was completely white, as if the blood had been drained from her. He then said, "Yes, I am the owner and manager of Joe's, and you are in no way my wife, and the employee you want fired is my son." She looked at me and I just couldn't hold back the laughter anymore, and just so her order was ready, but by then she was already quite embarrassed with the whole time her son was crying in the background. She dragged her crying son by her arm. She didn't even write down the order, and we still laugh about it to this day. Man, I can't believe how long the operation let this continue before actually saying anything, and actually said nothing. The only reason the authorized mother in this case ended up finding out he was the owner's son and she was not the owner's wife because she called the number external and spoke directly to the owner. It's quite Surprising that she went straight into the role of wife, instead of all the other roles that the operation thought she might have chosen for a sister or friend or something like that. She simply said that it's the owner's wife. The funniest comment said I wouldn't have been able to resist shouting something to the effect of, "Mom, you finally got home," and tried to hug her while faking tears of joy, and someone followed this up saying it would be epic and hilarious and also say, "And I have a younger brother. Is he a half-brother, or were you pregnant with your father when you came out?" The bigger the scene, the better it is when people start taking out their phones and recording everything. If you had to rate this entitlement level at 1 out of 10, let me know what you would rate below in the comments. A Karen yelled at me at a Walmart drinking apple juice a few days ago. My mom had to go to Walmart to pick up a prescription and pick up some groceries. She hates Walmart, so we always try to hurry while she waited in line for her prescription. My brother and I went to look for the few groceries we need. We got to the supermarket part of the store and started shopping. When we finally got down to the drinks, we see I have 2 gallons of apple juice left. I go to get them when a woman walks up. She sees me pick them up, but I turn around and ask if she was also coming to get apple juice. She says yes, so I offer her one of them and we can get the other one. I don't know how or why she raised it so fast, but she told me to give her both because she wants them. I tell her again that I will give her one of them and we will keep the other. She is not happy about it and starts demanding that I give them both again. I tell her categorically no. My brother is not saying anything because he is not good with confrontations and just wanted to get apple juice. I say, "Ma'am, do you want this one or not?" Karen says, "Just give me both." How hard is it to understand that I want both? So no, so yes. Just give it to me. When she starts to progress to a scene, my brother starts to look anxious. But he interrupts and says, "Look, we're just trying to be nice." Karen says, "I don't care, just give them to me, you're wasting my time." I eventually get tired of this and out of spite putting them both in our cart, I turn away, move for my brother to follow her. She starts screaming, but we just go forward. It was really the stupidest thing ever. So the operation and brother got there first, could have easily taken them both without saying anything. They offered to give one of them to this lady and the lady just started yelling at them, so she wanted 100% of the apple juice and ended up getting 100% of nothing. I'm surprised actually that Karen didn't end up running after it of the operation and the brother to try to do something more, but it seems they are able to just walk away without having any problems other than that. Let me know how you would rate the level of entitlement in this one in 10 below. An entitled parent requires college reimbursement for Disney World, so all of this first information is important to understand the rest of the story. I work in a financial aid office at a local private university and I've only been here for a little over 2 months. It's a stressful job because I'm forced to learn things about the financial aid process that I never thought I'd need to know. Like how FAFSA forms are processed. The FAFSA is a critical form that students fill out to see how much money you qualify for. Pay for your college. Much of the time this means students who have scholarship loans can get a refund check. These checks may vary depending on a variety of things like how much you qualify for and how much the school charges for tuition, food, and other expenses. Sometimes students receive thousands of dollars in refund money. For anyone planning on getting a refund, make sure you never discuss how you will use it outside of class requirements because it is a policy to refuse to disperse funds if knowingly used for things outside of school use. Again, this one is very important to understand the story, so now let's get to the story. So my job as financial aid assistant is to be a basic office assistant but with the knowledge of a financial aid counselor. Yesterday, a young girl with her father authorized entered the office. Before I could greet them, the man said, "Where is the person who keeps the money of my children?" As a hostage, I was terrified because this man was bigger than me and he was angry. I wanted to cry from the sheer volume of his voice. I managed to say, "Sir, can I see if anyone is available to talk to?" And he started barking at me about how this is a terrible university and how dare they keep his daughter's money like that. It's a small office, and with my supervisor who is the director of financial aid, the DFA, and the assistant director, the AD, and a student aide, we are all women. I turn to the door open and I see the assistant principal looking impressed. "Can I talk to you and your daughter about her financial grade? If you are looking for a refund, call the billing department first, not the financial aid office. As it is not, we really control how this is dispersed." The father and the girl went to the office, but the door was kept open, so I heard everything that was said. If I wasn't allowed to record things for privacy reasons, I would have recorded this exchange. The Assistant director said, "So how can I help you? What's going on, Dad? My daughter's refund should be released by the end of the week. It's Wednesday and it's not in her account, sir. Please calm down." "No, she needs her money because we need it for our trip." "Daughter, Dad? I'm not going on a trip." "Titled Dad, yes you will. Remember, we're going to Disney World." The assistant director smiles knowingly. "Cause, so you are using your refund to pay for an out-of-school trip." "Daughter needs." "No, I am not a father." "Yes. She promised to pay the deposit with this money and we need it now." Assistant principal, "Sir, I must inform you that I cannot allow these funds to be released as you just told me that your daughter will use them outside of school use. This is not allowed. Please note that it is her money and she can do whatever she wants without money." Assistant principal, "You can only use this money for school-related purchases. This is considered a misuse of funds, which is considered fraud." Op clarifies here that you can use your refund money however you want, but you should never tell the financial aid office your vacation plans and be a total jerk about it. Most people on financial aid don't care how you spend your refund in general. So I was still at my desk trying to look like I wasn't hearing this, but this man had a meltdown. I swear, I learned more swear words from this guy than I have in my entire 27 years of life. The girl was upset too. But since she wasn't going to get her money, I kept my head down as they left the office. Then I got up and checked on my assistant director. "Hey, are you okay?" She nodded but clearly needed a few minutes to herself. I don't blame her. That guy was really intimidating and I don't think it will be the last we hear from him anytime soon. Man, it seems like they might have really been able to help them if they didn't clearly say that they were going to use all that money on Disneyland, and it's also kinda weird. I mean, they're going to take the daughter's money to pay for everyone else's trip. I kind of felt like they just made that decision for her, but anyway, regardless of who made the decision, the fact that the father is simply telling the office that they need the money for Disneyland is such a bad idea, even if it wasn't against policy. Why would you say that? What does it matter what the money is for in this case? It seems like it gave to the assistant director of financial aid an easy way out so they don't have to deal with this situation. They seem to think that the father will keep coming back. But there's a chance he's afraid of anything that has to do with fraud because the assistant director said this would be considered fraud, and anyway, this is a big deal, so let me know what you would do if you were in this situation. And rate this 1 out of 10 below. Entitled Women's Children Steal Our Things and Refuse to Give Them Back. So there was an Ethiopian woman with 3 children and we lived in a set of units, not in apartments, but in separate houses, but joined together as well. This woman's children always came in our house somehow, one way or another. One day I even remember my mother leaving the garage door open for Sliver and those kids squirmed through the garage door, entered our house and went straight to my room. Then they stole things like one day they stole my father's $20 Australian sunglasses. Then they stole a $30 watch that I had and a $50 pair of my mother's best shoes and much more. They also broke into our neighbor's garden and stole several plants that also cost money and threw mud at their houses, but that's not the worst part. I mean, they don't know anything, so we let the kids go, but we confronted the mother, who is a single mother, and her response was, "Oh, let's return them," and being naive we accept and return to our house. A few weeks later we will ask again, but once again they give the same answer. To this day I fear what we did, but we ignored that, and it's not like the Australian police were going to do anything, considering the value of the things they stole, and they were also renters. I didn't know what to do after that point, and I would have reported them to the landlord and received a warning, but my second thought said that would be very cruel, and just before we asked again sternly this time, they left with the things they stole. A message to the child's mother: if you are reading this, you should have raised your children. You are lucky. I am not. I reported you. Whenever I hear stories like this, the first thing I thought is that maybe that family was really in need and maybe they didn't need these specific items, but they were selling them or doing something to survive. The hard part is when you have both the families in need. I mean, it seems like neither of these families were exactly rich families and they're both just doing what they need to do to survive. But obviously that doesn't mean that it's okay to just let people steal things from you. It seems like the OPI's biggest regret was that they were too naive and believed when this other family told them that they would give their stuff back. I mean, that's weird. I mean, they shouldn't keep things for any period of time. I mean, what was the reason behind it? They were going to use it and then give it back. The kids broke into the house, stole what they stole, they were going to use it, and then Operation said, "Okay, sure, just give it to me later. Let me know what you would do if this was your house and you had these things taken away," and then the family was moving to another place. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel with notifications on, follow on Instagram, and check out the podcast if you like this kind of thing. Link below. Thanks so much for listening. And I'll see you next time. I want to say it's okay to let people steal things from you. It seems like OPI's biggest regret was that they were too naive and believed that when this other family told them they would return their stuff. I mean, that's weird. I mean, they shouldn't have the stuff for any period of time. I mean, what was the reason behind that? They were going to use it and then return it. The kids broke into the house, stole what they stole. They were going to use it and then operation said, okay, sure, just give it to me later. Let me know what you would do if this was your house and you had these things taken away, and then the family would move to another place. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel with notifications turned on. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you next time. I want to say that it's okay to let people steal things from you. It seems like OPI's biggest regret was that they were very naive and believed that when this other family told them they were going to give their stuff back. I mean, that's weird. I mean, they shouldn't have the stuff for any period of time. I mean, what was the reason behind it? They were going to use it and then return it. The kids broke into the house, stole what they stole. They were going to use it and then operation said, okay, sure, just give it to me later. Let me know what you would do if this was your house and you had these things taken away and then the family was moving to another place. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel with notifications on. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you next time.